The trailer for Star Wars Battlefront 2 is here, and we've gone through each frame to pick apart every little detail you might have missed in EA's stunning new shooter. So, let's dig in. The trailer begins on Starkiller Base, an area that wasn't in the last Battlefront game, but one you probably remember from The Force Awakens. This platform is the one General Hux used to command the First Order and show off the base's planet-destroying superweapon. Here's Iden Versio, the lead of Battlefront 2's new single-player campaign, played by actress Janina Gavankar. She's an elite Empire Inferno Squadron member, and that droid on her back is an ID-9 seeker droid we first saw on Star Wars Rebels. Not only does Battlefront 2 have a story mode, but you play as one of the bad guys, or in this case, girls. Seen here is an Imperial Raider class Corvette, a ship originally created for the X-Wing miniatures game. It's like a faster, smaller Star Destroyer. The vehicle selection was fairly limited in the previous Battlefront games, so this is a welcome new addition. This is the second Death Star hovering over Endor moments before it explodes at the end of Return of the Jedi. Battlefront 2's story takes place between that battle and The Force Awakens, so the plot will cover part of the 30-year gap between those films, which, so far, has only been explored in books like Star Wars Aftermath. Here we see TIE fighters fleeing after the Battle of Endor, and one of our first looks at what space battles could look like in both single and multiplayer. Fast forward 30 years to the Force Awakens era, and we catch a glimpse of TIE fighters chasing the Millennium Falcon over Takodana, home to the soon-to-be-exploded Maz Kanata's pirate castle, which we can catch a glimpse of in the distance. That figure in red is a Sentinel droid, a droid sent out after the Empire died to deliver orders to the surviving Imperials to carry out a series of scorched earth strikes against his enemies. This plan was called Operation Cinder, first seen in the comic book miniseries Shattered Empire. It looks like this elite squad is part of Cinder, possibly commanding Iden and the Inferno Squad. Inferno Squad has a direct confrontation with Luke Skywalker and R2-D2, who was briefly playable in the last game's Death Star DLC. Luke is in his Return of the Jedi era outfit on a rocky planet that doesn't look like Endor. We can assume that their mission is to hunt him down after the destruction of the Death Star. This is a glimpse at a possible new planet, part Empire architecture and part giant red-leaf bonsai tree. AT-ATs have no problem stomping through it either way, so expect it to scale to some of the bigger multiplayer modes like Walker Assault and Supremacy. These X-Wings are docked aboard the Imperial Raider ship and falling out, either as captured ships or as boarders. In the background we can see Liberty-type star cruisers and Nebulon B escort frigates. The planet they're battling above is either Mustafar, the fiery Outer Rim planet that burned up Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, or Fondor, the smoky purple planet first mentioned in the novel Han Solo at Star's End. Now back to Takodana for a first-person TIE fighter cockpit view of the battle. Battlefront 1 featured both first and third-person view options, both on foot and in ships, and the sequel looks to be no different. Enter Tatooine's Mos Eisley, home of the infamous cantina scene.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
On the left, Aronto, a dinosaur-like creature originally added in the 1997 Special Edition release of A New Hope. In the center, Luke Skywalker's anti-gravity landspeeder. On the right, a Gonk droid. Capturing Gonk droids was an entire mode called Droid Run in the last Battlefront game. Here's Darth Maul, a playable Phantom Menace villain facing off against Yoda. Expect to play as the flipping, saber-fighting Attack of the Clones era Yoda, and not the sleeping, dying Return of the Jedi era Yoda.
Unexpected this is. And unfortunate.
Another playable hero character shown is Rey, star of The Force Awakens. Here we see her running in a battle on Takodana. Ideally, she'll wield both her NN-14 blaster, handed down from Han Solo, and her blue lightsaber, handed over to Luke Skywalker. Now back on Hoth, this time with rideable Tauntauns. It looks like snowtroopers and more will be able to fire from them on foot, all while running under massive AT-ATs. Back in space, this ring could be an undefined Empire space base, but more specifically resembles the Scarif Shield Gate seen in Rogue One, above Scarif, home of the infamous Death Star plans, at least until they get stolen by rebels. Battlefront 2's multiplayer spans everything from the prequels to the current films, so we wouldn't be surprised to see some Rogue One content in there too. After all, Scarif was a map in the last game's DLC. And finally, the trailer's last playable villain character, Kylo Ren, shown force-pushing and sabering his enemies across the interior of Starkiller Base, just a few halls away from where he murdered his father, Han Solo. Spoilers. We're sure to see several more playable heroes and villains in Battlefront 2, and hopefully a return of some of the ones we saw in the last Battlefront game. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is out worldwide for PS4, Xbox One, and PC on November 17th.
I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
If there are any secrets we missed, let us know in the comments below. We'll be covering every new character, trailer, weapon reveal, and more right here on IGN, so stay tuned, and may the Force be with you.